Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Leaders Only Digital Show and Podcast. I'm Samaj.
And I'm Kendall.
We're brought to you today by What a Change Mentoring and Tone Drone TV. As in today, we'll be discussing a couple of popular news stories and Harvard's ties to slavery. So please invite your friends to check out the Leaders Only Show. Have a watch party. Subscribe to our channel. Share it, like it, hit the bell, and comment below. And if you're catching us in the replay, then just put hashtag replay. It's just fine. Just let us know you were here supporting because we do appreciate you. How you feeling today, bro?
Oh man, I'm blessed. Another day above, another episode ready for. We had a great weekend with the family. You know, just enjoy life this week. So everything was all good. How you?
Oh, I'm well. I'm doing well. Ready to get some rest, but I had a great weekend as well. Been delivering seeded watermelons to people who need them and seeded fruit. Just leaving the farmer's market today. We did a beautiful hike yesterday down in the Richmond area. Was able to pull up on a natural spring, get some natural spring water. So that was dope. And then put in about 19,000 steps in yesterday. So did quite a few miles, but it was definitely beautiful. And just had a good time at the farmer's market. A lot of people out there traveling, celebrating the holiday and all that. So y'all be careful out there. It's a little congested everywhere you go. But if you wake up, it's a blessing. You know what I mean? So I feel good.
Yes, sir. Appreciate mine. I got my watermelon too. I seen you got to be blessed to see you in transaction. Yeah, we enjoyed the beach. We took the kids down to the beach. Leah down here, mommy down here. So we went down to the beach. Like I said, it was just a fun weekend for us. We
Yeah,
didn't
that
really
rain
watch.
is coming.
Yeah, it's definitely supposed to rain all week this week. So get ready.
Yeah, Charles, hurricane season. One of our clients let us know that it was a tropical storm in the area. I was just looking at the weather and I can tell, but you can feel it, you can see it. We out here today in Northern Virginia, and it's cloudy. It feels amazing now, but we need it. It's been very, 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 very humid and sticky. So this cool off is gonna be good, and we always happy when we get rainwater. Saves us time for having to water the garden, but also is no water, cleaner than rainwater for your garden. So yeah, man, let's move into it. I want to jump right into it.
Yeah, man. In the news, on June 19th, Carmelo Anthony was indicted for murder and stabbing of Austin Metcalf at Frisco ISD track meet. He has been on house arrest since being released on a reduced bond on April 14th. If convicted, Anthony could face a possible sentence of 5 to 99 years or life in prison. In Texas, criminal justice system, 17-year-olds are considered adults. Let's watch this video and we'll come back with our thoughts.
A Collin County grand jury has now indicted Carmelo Anthony.
He is accused of killing another high school student at a track meet. The story has generated national interest, and our JD is live at the Collin County Courthouse, where he's been gathering reaction to this decision. JD.
Karen and Ken, Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis says his office has been presenting evidence for weeks to a grand jury panel here and asked that panel to return an indictment of first-degree murder on Carmelo Anthony, which they did today.
Now, we know this case has struck a deep nerve here in Collin County and beyond, and that's understandable. When something like this happens at a school event, it shakes people to the core. But let's remember that the justice system works best when it moves with steadiness and principle. That's what we're committed to, and that's what this case deserves.
Willis delivered that video statement after the indictment was handed down. A first-degree murder charge carries a 5 to 99 years or life in prison sentence if convicted. Carmelo Anthony is accused of fatally stabbing Austin Metcalf during a track meet inside a stadium where both of their Frisco ISD high school teams were participating. Anthony told police he acted in self-defense and was provoked by Metcalf during an altercation that preceded the stabbing. Anthony's attorney emphasized his plans to use that defense in a video statement released earlier today.
Self-defense is a fundamental right guaranteed every American. The law is clear. When self-defense is raised by the facts, the law puts the burden squarely on the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the citizen accused did not act in self-defense.
The father of Austin Metcalf issued a statement to us which says, "I am pleased that we are moving forward with the first-degree murder indictment. It now goes into the court system. I fully believe that justice will be served for Austin Metcalf. I look forward to the forthcoming trial, but it will never bring my son back." I'm told the next step in this legal process will be assigning a judge to the case, and that could happen tomorrow when we expect to get a copy of the indictment. That judge will then decide on when to set an initial appearance for Carmelo Anthony, and that could be days, it could be weeks, it could even be months. And as far as a trial date, I'm told that could be well into 2026.
Yeah, man. So, we knew it would get to this. How I feel about it, I got kind of like mixed emotions, but when you go by the law, I just feel like it was 3 key points to me that stuck out. Is it was a premeditated situation by him carrying a knife, knowing, prepared for situations when you're 17 and supposed to be in school, and this is supposed to be a atmosphere of safety. You know, it's a lot of authority around. It's a lot of officials around where you could have let somebody know. If you felt like, second key was to me, if you felt like you was being antagonized, if you were being picked on, bullied, or anything in that nature, why didn't you tell nobody and inform them? If you did feel like you were going to act in self-defense, that's 2. Third, I just hate that it's a black and white young man. I mean, so-called black, and Caucasian young men. That's one of the main things that I hate about the situation, because they're making it look like a race issue. And now that his dad issued out that statement, now it really look like a race issue because he wants murder. I'm pretty sure he's not going to get the high end if he does get convicted. That's just scared him. That's just attacking by the law, and the guidelines and things of that nature. He's not going to get no high end because he don't really have a background. Criminal background. But like I said, it was a premeditated situation, and that's what it falls down to by law. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, man. I had to move locations, man. We just got a little rain, but I totally agree. You know what I'm saying? That's where I agree. We spoke on this before, and I said that it would be one of those situations where you got to explain what was the point in having the knife. I agree with you. I hate the fact that it turns into a race thing, but it didn't last. They weren't able to make it a race thing for too long because I knew the facts would start coming out, and I'm just waiting for it all to unfold. I have been seeing hearsay in certain videos where it's saying that the parents are now asking for more money for legal fees and for legal support after they already raised $500,000. So that doesn't look good. I also said at the beginning that I wanted to hear from the father. I said that the mother being up there emotional, not being able to finish her statements all the way, made it look like her son was the victim. But both kids are a victim first and foremost. But somebody has to be a suspect if somebody lost their life. You know what I mean? When it's just a fight, when you're just picking on somebody and it's just bullying, there can be consequences and repercussions, but both people can still have their life. And that's the sad part, because here we go again with 2 young men, no matter the race, they're American. You know what I mean? There's 2 young men who are not going to get to see their life play out to the way that they possibly wanted it to be. I know the other young man didn't want to die, Mr. Metcalf, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to just be sitting behind bars if he had all of this future playing sports. You know what I'm saying? So that sucks. It's like we lose two more young men off the street that could have had help. You know what I mean? It's obvious that they needed help since they at a track meet and they both. I'm still not sure if they all even were participating. I heard that they all weren't even participating, but they all need help. You know what I mean? Because competition is cool. Talking back and forth is cool, but being on school grounds, doing this type of stuff, it shows that you need help. Like, bro, you committed murder and there's all kinds of cameras and officials. So I'm still standing on that, wondering where's the camera footage. And then I'm just sending my prayers and condolences to the families, but more so to the Most High and the Creator, you know what I'm saying? So he could fix this, because everybody's going to try to sway it in the best interest of their child. But I just pray that the truth reigns supreme and that they can come together as adults and talk. And again, I always say that these things are teachable moments, and they're moments to create programs, organizations, something to stop other parents, kids from having to go through the same type of thing, and other parents from going through this type of thing.
But just like you said, when both the kids on the aspect going to lose their life at the same time, because one is going to be into the system, and then one is not coming back. So that's the sad part about it. Key point that you said though, what happened to the money? What did they do with all that money? Is where I raise eyes at, and why do you need more money? Would you spend the money?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, like how? Yeah, it's a lot of red flags in this situation. But that was a key point that you said they trying to raise more money. How much was the first part they raised, bro?
Over $500,000.
Yeah,
Enough to have fought this case.
And been all right.
Enough money to fight this case.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So that's why.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I wonder where that money went. And I just also wonder, like, where did all of those people go who were saying they got their dick back and all that? I just pray that they I wish that and pray and hope that they got their dose of reality, to where, bro, it's not cool. You know what I mean? We're not getting no cool points for killing no young man from another race. It doesn't erase slavery. It doesn't erase the position that we're in now. You know what I mean? Being, low in terms of household income, in terms of household wealth, in terms of, high up on the numbers for hypertension, diabetes. So none of that. We didn't get no lick back. We don't win in this type of stuff. You can't play God, and then want to take somebody's life, and then, then want somebody to feel sorry for you. That's why I always say, think. But again, you can't expect young men and young women to make rational decisions if they're not being taught how to control their emotions. You know what I'm saying? And make better decisions. So we'll keep on waiting until we get the full verdict. But I do wish, he was able to use that money that they raised the first time for the proper legal team, for him to get the best situation that he could get, because he's going to jail. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be some type of consequences and repercussions for this. So, you got anything else on that one?
Nah, man. We're gonna keep that one updated as much as we can, man, because that's a story that we really highlighted. And that's it, man. Go ahead and jump off the next one.
All right. So the next one isn't a story, but it's a reflection of, kind of like why we have the generation that we have coming up behind us. A 6-year-old calls her mom a bitch, and grandmom loses it. Let's watch the video and come back with our thoughts.
I don't want to. Turn your head. You're a bitch. Whoa! What did you just
say? What did you just say? And I don't think it's funny. What did you just say to your mother? Sit up. I'm not playing with you. Don't you dare smirk at me.
Why is it my fault?
Take away all this media shit. That's it. Take it away. Done. Nothing. Man, girl, you call me a bitch. I get rich. I'll beat your ass. Not sick of it. You find a solution. Get sick of it. That's your daughter. Ever. Let me tell you something, young lady. I ever hear that word come out your mouth. You allow her to debate you? You allow her to debate you. 6 years old. Debate you. Scarlet, if you dare open your mouth all tonight, I am really not.
Man, that was crazy. That was crazy. You want me to kick it off with my thought?
Yeah,
I
you
know
got
back
that.
in
You
the
got
day, we had aunts, friends of mothers, extended family. Like, we disrespect you, man. We couldn't even do that. So that was. I love how the grandmother reacted. She did it right. Like, and she didn't do it crazy, but she did it right. She disciplined both of them because this is what you teaching her, and I teach this. That's crazy, you know. So, social media, we didn't have that in our times when we were growing up. So that was a thankful part, grateful part of it. But she right though, like take away that stuff, take away that stuff because without that, they can't see nobody else. I'm pretty sure she's seeing somebody else call their mother bitch, you know. So it's like wow, but that's how the grandma was supposed to react. She lucky in our days she would have got her butt whooped. Facts.
hmm Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But it's evident, even the way that the grandma did react. It was good, but it was bad at the same time because nowadays uh, they do the do as I say. They do the do as I do, not the do as I say. You know what I'm saying? So her reaction, she's hearing those words. So that's how she basically, that's how she knows what those words are. But even more, you can see her mom. I mean, she probably talked to her like that. They probably talk to each other. You know what I mean? Because it's more like they're friends. And it always leads back to where's the father, but here's an example clearly of my parents, yo. Um, if you are allowing a 6-year-old to do that, then when the school call home or when she get in trouble for real, you can't say nothing because you are allowing it to go on. But this is why a lot of people can't discipline the next generation, especially if you're not their parent. You know what I mean? You can't chastise them. And then they get to put their feelings and they get to put their emotions and they get to put their depression and all that stuff to the forefront. Soon as she gets disciplined, here comes her tears. You know what I mean? And then she'll be the victim, but she's the prime suspect. You know what I'm saying? And here's another teachable lesson. They need to teach that young lady, that little girl, that number one, that's not how you're supposed to talk to your mom. But number two, that's not how you're supposed to talk as a 6-year-old. No way. I think, that she's right as far as the social media and stuff, but it's an even bigger picture of there needs to be more time parenting. A lot of people give tablets, phones, all that stuff to the kids, and they're not parenting enough. Just doing things that you're supposed to do as far as on the schedule, that's not parenting. You know what I mean? You got to teach your kids how to read. You got to teach them how to write. You got to teach them manners, morals, ethics, values. It's up to you to teach that stuff. For so long, it just seems like, grandmom got to do it or the school has to do it. It's for the last at least 20, 30 years. That's the way that it's really starting to change. To everybody else doing it till it boils down to really these children are raising themselves. And through technology. That's why a lot of times when they have their phone or their tablet, you can be sitting within a 10 feet radius and call their name, say something to them. They won't even hear you. You know what I mean? They're locked in on those tablets. And a lot of those tablets or phones are not age monitored and age regulated. So they seeing all the shows. They watching all the the stuff that's on social media, all the skits, everything. You know what I'm saying? But the way that just rolled off of her mouth telling her mom no, and then she just called her a B word, like that's normal. Like her mom probably it's just like yo, she goes at that on an everyday basis. So there has to be a line drawn to where you let these children know that they're your children and they're not your friends. Only thing I can do for her is pray for her. She's gonna be a piece of work if somebody don't get their hands on her and teach her. And so many other young ladies and young men in the generations coming behind us. They already can't read. They already can't write. So if you don't have respect, if you don't have the wherewithal to have the proper communication, then you're going to be a zombie. Even worse than what you've seen our generations go through as far as being zombies. They literally like can't write in cursive. You know. Can't count to a certain number. You know what I mean? They're teaching them all new ways to do math. So things are changing. And if you're not teaching your kid that, the school system is not going to do it, and the streets ain't going to do it. It's up to you.
Yeah. And you could tell by the reaction of the mom where she was like, "Well, how am I wrong?"
Right.
So
You're wrong.
Like,
yeah, that's your child. That's how you wrong. She's a representation of you. You're supposed to control her. You're supposed to take accountability for that and teach her. You know what I mean? Like, look, like she's a pretty young lady. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how this goes, man. That little girl, 15, 16, 17, gonna get ran through. Dog, ain't nobody gonna have no respect for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Children are raising themselves. Yes, Amy. Amy is correct. You know, these kids, they're raising themselves, and a lot of times it's not because the parent is even physically tired. They're mentally tired. They're carrying around the stress, the trauma, the depression, the anxiety, the lack of funds, the everything. You know what I mean? They don't have the proper time, and you should not be parenting alone. You shouldn't. That's why it's okay to wait. Just to say that you had a kid, but how many? Like we could do numbers, you know what I'm saying? And we got family, our sister tell you day one, you know what I mean? But her father is active, but our sister tell you that the goal is to keep it together. The goal is to have the children to keep it together. So if somebody does make that mistake, okay, cool. They made that mistake. They went through that. But they went through that. So hopefully you won't have to go through that too. Somewhere in here, we have to break that cycle. It's not cool. Okay, my mom went through it. My sister went through it. My niece shouldn't have to go through it. You know what I'm saying? My children shouldn't have to go through it. We have to break it. Nobody points the finger at you and say you're wrong for it. But if there's right and wrong, that's the wrong way to do it. And we have to stop doing things the wrong way because we've accepted it. It's been embedded in us because we've allowed it for so long and we've made it normal. That's not normal. You know what I mean? All of our dysfunction, all of our abnormal is normal. All of our trauma is normal. You know what I mean? I said it last week. I don't want to give my quote all the way away, but I said it. I said, the trauma is free, the progress is sold separately. This is a fact. They'll play all on your trauma. They'll play and think it's cute. Like, you probably have some people look at that video and laughing. Like, it's cute. You know what I mean? Like, oh, little mama, she's so cute. Because I've seen multiple videos like that. Like, and not talking to the mom, I seen young ladies talking to the camera. Like, y'all checking me duck lips and F y'all and y'all all up in my mama business and just talking to the camera. And it's a direct reflection that you bring your child around everything. Like, that's your best friend. When you're talking about your sister, cousin, friends, whoop, whoop, your child is right there. And most of the time they're talking to them like they're a grown person, like right there with them. Like, your child is 6. She talked to that child like she's 26. I guarantee you. And I guarantee you that child will answer back like, who you talking about, mom? Oh, I'm talking about Darlene, Bitch ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it goes, and that's how they get to pick up on the words and speak them so fluently. When you're supposed to say, "Who I'm talking about? Why am I even talking?" Like, girl, go over there. Like, let's pick up a book. Let's read. Let's do something. But you're not my peer. You're my child. And when she sees Darlene, unless Darlene is a rapist, a mass murderer, a robber, like, y'all just having an issue. Don't talk so bad about her where your kid is messed up in the mind, thinking you hate her. because now your kid think you hate her. You know what I mean? And that's why we should keep it separate. And just in this instance, the number one thing in this instance, I just wish her pop was there, wherever he was, or if he's not in our life, he's not willing to be in our life, then they should not have children.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
I truly believe, we got another comment from Amy. Amy says, I truly believe it's lack of home training. I think a lot of parents have become lazy in raising their children. I use 4 words for my kids: watch, think, look, and listen. That's a fact. That's a fact. And see, that's why I like, man, just honest parents, man, because it's evident. Like, we don't have to pick on you. We don't have to go back and forth. But you want to judge the parent by the fruit. You want to judge the tree by the fruit. And our fruit is deteriorating. Like, go look at some of these stats beyond obesity. Look at the homicides. Look at, you know what I mean, the levels of reading, the levels of graduating. Just go look at it. And then go look at all the stuff that the household does, you know. And it'll be a clear reflection. So I don't want to get hung up here. But what I do want to say is please, 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 and I'll continue to say it, do a better job with so we bring we get to put the icing on the cake with the cherry on top, because they're coming from homes where they see, and it's not foreign to them when they're chastised, when they're spoke to, and somebody slow them down and say, hey, young man, young lady, can I speak to you for a second? Why are you acting like that? Why are you talking like that? Why? It's beyond it being disrespectful to me and all these people around. It's disrespectful to you and your parents. I should be able to say that without your son going to grip a gun. I should be able to say that without your daughter turning right around and cursing me out. You know what I'm saying? And this is literally where it stems from. So go ahead and jump into the next story, man.
Everybody knows about this story. Sean Diddy Combs found not guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking, but convicted of lesser charges. Denied bail for the Bad Boy Recording founder, saying it would be impossible for Combs to prove he does not pose a danger. Sentence is scheduled for October 3rd. Let's watch this video and we'll come back with these thoughts.
This morning, Sean Diddy Combs acquitted of the most serious charges he faced in federal criminal court: racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking.
Today's a great victory. It's a great victory for Sean Combs.
But the music mogul will remain behind bars until his sentencing, after the judge denied bail, saying that the defense did not prove Combs is not a danger to the public.
I want everyone to know the job is not done yet.
The jury of 8 men and 4 women deliberating for just over 13 hours, finding Combs guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, each carrying a maximum 10-year prison sentence. The verdict comes one day after jurors told the judge that they were unable to reach a verdict on the racketeering charge, citing unpersuadable opinions. Combs pumping his fist inside the courtroom after the verdict was read, later kneeling down and appearing to pray once the judge dismissed the jury, telling his family behind him, "I'm gonna be home soon, I love you." The defense claiming victory with the partial conviction.
Sean Combs has not sexually assaulted anybody. We've said it with each lawsuit that came out, and today that was proven true.
Prosecutors arguing that the rapper ran a criminal enterprise for 2 decades, using his wealth and power to force his victims to submit. Over the 7-week trial, dozens of witnesses took the stand, including escorts, former assistants, and alleged victims, who detailed drug-fueled parties known as freak-offs. Among them, Combs' former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, who recounted years of alleged abuse and violence.
She really wanted to give a voice to others who suffer in silence.
Outside the courthouse, a mixed scene of supporters and protesters, as Sean Combs now waits to learn what lies ahead for his future.
So what lies next is that the next hearing to determine Combs' sentencing date is actually going to be scheduled for Tuesday. The proposed date on the table for his sentencing is October 3rd, but Combs' attorneys, they're asking for an expedited sentencing.
All right. My thoughts. Me personally, I care less, but this is the same. And you can get to so high to a pedestal, but then people think that you that they disrespect you and can easily take everything from you is how I view the situation. And he's a damn fool to think that. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I share kind of the same sentiment this week because it's like I constantly talk about this. I mean, these people used to inspire our childhood. You know what I'm saying? These people used to be, for our generation, they used to be the example. You know, they used to be what success looked like. And then I remember last week, you know, we were posed the question, what is success to us? And success to me is totally different these days. You know what I'm saying? I'm already a success, and I'm striving for other successes now, you know, to align with purpose. But anything to do with that industry, I believe it did what it's supposed to. One, it kept people distracted. You know what I'm saying? Because you have people literally every single day in their Facebook, on their social media, Twitter, on their Instagram, and they're so engulfed and embedded in this story that they won't take the time to fix up their own life. So when it comes to celebrities, when it comes to idols and stuff, I don't have those. You know what I'm saying? So do I want to see anybody who don't need to go to jail go to jail? No. But if he guilty, he guilty. If he not, he not. That's literally the way I see it. I come from a lot of that era of music, you know, at the time. And even now, you know, that's more of my era. So I would listen to that era of music opposed to that genre of music today. So my life has changed in a major way because I don't have to subscribe to P. Diddy or any other celebrity outside of what I want to see. If I'm scrolling or if I just have to see it on YouTube and just staying abreast. But I won't break him down. I ain't got to. I don't have to update nobody about what's going on. I don't need no updates. I don't need nobody saying, yo, that joint was crazy. What happened? Because outside of, you know, what people do by force, I know that this industry is an ugly game. I know that the world is an ugly game. I know people do stuff all the time. And I do know just because you find not guilty or you are found guilty don't mean you did something, don't mean you didn't do something, don't mean just because you didn't do that you didn't do this. But again, where I'm at in my life now, I always been like this, but now I could put rhythm to it, the right wording to it. And with that, man, people done me wrong all kinds of ways, right? Karmic debt. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who ever done something to, like, no lie, they ain't in a position that I want to be in. Straight up. Most of the people who ever done me wrong financially, this, that, and the third, whether they were found guilty because I sued people and we won, but they didn't pay the judgment, so it's a whole thing, or you break up with them, or you stop hanging with them, everything. Because the person who quick to run and go tell the story wants to be the victim. I don't want to be the victim. I just want the truth. You know what I'm saying? So put the truth out. Outside of that, it's okay. So whatever they find to be true. But in my mind, in my world, the way I see it, I just wish people would clean up their own stuff because it would make our lives a whole lot better. Focusing on their lives don't make our lives any better. Don't want to see no brother, don't want to see nobody in this world get trialed and accused and put behind bars falsely. But look at all the brothers who behind bars right now falsely. There's tons of men and women that you can fight for. You know what I mean? Y'all can go look up the dockets, read stories. So again, here's just another celebrity that it shows that they still have the power of influence, the power of control over our people. That media circuit is still controlling the minds. And that's really what I look at it as, another experiment. Like you said, it's a public lynching. We grabbed the whip real quick because we all are not on the physical plantation no more in terms of that part of slavery. But we are still on the physical plantation in terms of slavery, whether y'all want to look at it or not. Just because it feels better the way you're getting done, you know, the way you're getting screwed, just because they're using extra lubricant and it feels good to you don't mean that you're not getting screwed. And I look at that in this same situation, you know, until we fix our own houses and fix our own worlds and fix our own individual selves. We're going to continue to focus on people who we think are better than us, who have more power than us and all this stuff. But the one who has the true power is the one who chooses to stick close to, the righteousness, the Most High, the Creator, um, and they're doing the things that they're supposed to do, wrapped around their purpose. So a lot of famous, rich people, but not moving in purpose. So I could care less.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love the way you use that analogy. That was pretty dope. Just like every week, man, we want to continue to encourage you to do something positive in your physical, mental, and emotional aspect. We'll encourage you to always eat right. Get your proper rest. Find you some things to do that and strengthen your mind, release some of the toxins out of you. As always, the mental health stuff. It's all over his page. It's all into what he say. It starts when you digest it and what you intake, man. So you really want to start to practice things that you know that's wrong and notify it and try to delete it.
Yes.
Go ahead, bro.
And also be mindful of the suicide hotline. The emergency number is 988. So call or text. Don't hesitate if you're struggling. I also wanted to say we say eat right, we say sleep right, meditate. But man, I'm going to keep trying to push it. Proper financial literacy. You may not know all about investing. You may not know all about, running a Fortune 500 company on your own and being an entrepreneur. But every one of us takes our butt to work somehow, some way each day. You have to become frugal. You have to become disciplined, obedient, wise with your dollar. You have to live beneath your means for us to get to where we want to. Then you have to begin to open your mind. So it is best that you read and stuff about how things move around us. So when somebody that looks like you come to you to do business or to put something together, that you can be ready to do it. We're sitting in this funk because we're not doing the work, and willing to ask questions or willing to share the knowledge. So I just want to keep that in mind because, stepping outside of the air, you got to pay for everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a fact. That's definitely a fact, man.
A lot of our issue is because of our habits and our decisions, but we make good money. As a people, we make good money. We just got bad habits and we make terrible decisions. We make good money. We're selfish. We're stingy. We've been taught this, but we are very selfish. We are very stingy. And a lot of this, because it comes from putting people on pedestals, upholding people who breathe the same air as you, and you not getting the confidence in yourself. You know what I mean? To know that you can stand next to another human being who you really know, and y'all both can shine. Y'all can work together. You got to try to mess with his wife. You ain't got to try to mess with his husband. You ain't got to try to do this with this. You ain't got to try. Like, it's a bunch of little stuff that we can't even get past to even get to anything big. Because you're tied to being a fan. You're a fan of the Cowboys. He a fan of the Eagles. Y'all argue. We can't. Bro, we was trying to grow 39 pumpkins over here. We was trying to grow 62 patches of greens. Can't get past it because now he's a punk ass nigga because he like this team and she's a whole ass bitch because she likes, like, this is literally, that's the disrespect that go on, and we never get to the finish line. You know what I mean? So stop being distracted. Stop letting these people distract you. If you really feel in your heart that somebody is being done wrong, pray on it. Write a letter to the jury if you really feel like that. But I feel like a lot of people just, newsy. You want to be nosy. You want to get the information. You want to have something to type on your keyboard. Jokes. And somebody else's demise should never be funny. You know what I'm saying? It's not funny. Even with Diddy going through, and I don't rock with the industry no more. I don't think it's funny. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible because, again, every hero that we were given as kids has been knocked. I'm talking about Bill Cosby, Diddy. You hear the rumors about Jay, or they had some type of rumor. It's like everybody they gave us, we've been hoodwinked when we should have been knowing, you know what I'm saying? The person who had the acres, the person who was really taking care of the community. You know what I mean? The old lady down the block, how she knew how to sew. We had to make sure we kept all their skills and all their connections and all their resources, but head in the clouds.
And we can go on day after day. I mean, time after time with these type of stories because it's always the idols, So, man,
and that's a big thing. On Tuesday, I'm gonna be talking to somebody about that. You know what I mean? Because you have so many people who are Christians And especially in our family and our but they idolize people. I be so lost in that. You know what I mean? They be die hard fans and stuff like that, but they don't love God the way that they love their team or their celebrity, or you know what I mean. So I'm trying to wrap my hand around it. But we can move forward to the last story, man, because it's deep. But on Tuesday, I will be on Station Head speaking to a group of Christians about this, because I feel in today's time that Christianity has become something that is for comforting people to get more followers. They don't stand on their beliefs, what the laws were, what the commandments are. I feel like they bend and break because, oh, that's my cousin, oh, that's my friend, oh, she's gay, and we're gonna be canceled. Like, nah, bro, no. You just might not be a Christian, but I'm look like, who's those real Christians? Like that's why I don't do religion, because I be anal. Like, you say this the way we supposed to live, then let's do it. But then I look to my right, I look to my left, I look to the front, I look to the leader of the church, and he don't live like this. I got a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? So, all in all, I think this whole thing, a bunch of stuff that they gave us, is a joke. From the celebrities to the education, to the food, to the air that we breathe. I think of a lot of it as a joke, and a lot of it was created to distract us and keep us from being connected. And it just so happens Diddy is on the chopping block right now. After October, it'll be somebody else.
The time of that Station Head, and what day, the accurate time and date?
I believe it's on Tuesday, I want to say at 7. But definitely just follow the mental health page and the leaders only page. When I get the flyer, I'll just post it right there, and you guys can download Station Head and come right on, man. And like I said, ain't no disrespect. I just got questions. I'm beyond having to argue and disrespect people. It just be like, we accept y'all don't accept us, man. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean that I'm not going to heaven. It don't mean that I don't know God because I don't accept Jesus and all that. That don't mean that. And I'm tired of people saying that, because you don't even live by that. You know what I'm saying? So, all in all, you out here praying for your Diddy's and your 4th of July with Beyonce. So miss me. You know what I'm saying? Miss me. Lastly, man, we got our last story, which is the headline story. Harvard University's tied to slavery. Direct ties. Harvard leaders, faculty, and staff enslaved at least 70 people during the 1700s. During the 17th century and the 18th century. Financial ties. Harvard benefited from donations from individuals who profited from slavery, including slave trades and those involved in the slave trades. Intellectual ties. Harvard faculty in the 19th and 20th centuries promoted theories of race, science, and eugenics, which were used to justify racial discrimination. Impact. The university's ties to slavery extended beyond the abolition of slavery in Massachusetts in 1783 through the pre-Civil War period and beyond. My thoughts on that, is just very plain. Man, you've seen the Target boycott. You see the Nexus, whoever, the Gucci boycott. But this is my thing. This is why I said, if you're going to boycott Target, then you might as well boycott everything. You know what I'm saying? And we don't own much of nothing. The stuff that we own, we don't put enough capital behind it. They can't make a mistake. Even sometimes, just being a small business owner of my own, you it's like people, they wait to find something wrong with the small business, but they'll get screwed over and over again by the big companies. So by Harvard having slaves and some of the people who were on the staff, and the fact that don't surprise me, bro. Look at the time. Even today, you could say Harvard got slaves. The high school I went to had slaves. The elementary I went to had slaves. I went to Norfolk State University. They had slaves. It's a multitude of slavery because we're still conquered. I said this last week. As long as we're conquered, and we don't own it, then what do you think you are? I don't know a group of people who want to war back with Britain or the U.S. corporate. I don't know these people. You know what I mean? But we continuously will not unite. So we don't have a voice as one. We don't have power as one. So what are we? If you're divided and you about to fight a nation, but you're divided, then they knock out each and every one of you one by one. How do you win? How can you fight a nation with a bunch of individuals, ones? It don't work. So same thing here. I'm not surprised, bro. Even when the school is a HBCU, it's still a slave school. Right now, they're teaching you indoctrinated knowledge to keep you from owning anything. We did a story already. You know where the rich kids go, where the wealthy go, where the bloodline. They don't go to school. They're not learning no K through 12 bull crap. They learning about trust. They learning about how to run a business. They learning about life insurance policies. They're learning about international business and trade. They're learning about the difference between interest and equity. They're learning about, hey, this what your dad got, this what your mom got, your grandfather, your great 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 grandfather left you this. This is this, this is this. They learning about stuff that they're going to need in their real world when they get older. Their design is to be movers and shakers, the ones who control and own. And then they also go to school with other people's bloodlines that are just like that, so they can form these connections that when they become president, or they become the vice president, or they become the head of Congress, or they become the head of this, then they have those type of relationships together. And they formed them when they were 5, 6, 16, 15, before they became adults and just went to college. They parents been putting them in the pocket. We don't have enough wealth, so we don't have enough control over our children's lives. No, we got to take what is given to us, the options that are handed to us. We already learning the wrong information. And then the sad part about it is we look at Harvard as something prestigious. You know what I'm saying? We want to get there. So we'll find this out, and it won't stop you from trying to get a Harvard degree. I tell a kid, bro, I always tell kids, if you ain't going to school for free, I don't care what it is. You're wasting your time, your energy, and your money. Okay? We've been through it already. So hopefully you won't. So if you're not busting your behind for the next kindergarten through 12th grade, they go to school for free or play some type of sport or activity, guess what, my brother? You will be a slave to debt. Guess what, my sister? You will also be a slave to debt. Same deal. It's the same deal. And then multiple. I just wish we stopped with the slavery thing, because most of us don't have slave last names. And a lot of us in our bloodlines did have slaves. Our families did have slaves because it forced you to that. Some people was buying their family so they wouldn't lose the connection with their family. Like, there's context, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, don't pick and choose what to be mad about. So this gonna be a headline. They're gonna be like, man, you know what? Guess what? Harvard had slaves. Okay, what you gonna do about it? Hey man, you know what? Spelman is named after the Rockefeller families. Are y'all still trying to go there? Yeah, you're not trying to put Spelman out of business. You're not trying to, all that Divine Nine and all that. That stuff was created by who funded it? Go look it up. That's what I'm saying. You'll get mad at me for speaking the truth, but this is public documented information, and y'all don't walk away and stop it. So you can't put one emphasis on one school that has slavery, or one school family, or these What did y'all think was gonna happen? They still running this thing today. And the last time I checked, the U.S. corporation got us all slaves. Go do your homework. Be mad about that. Amy said, wealth is about the money that you keep, not what you make. And that's a fact. You know what I mean? They if you read The Millionaire Next Door, if you read The Millionaire Next Door, they put it in more modern terms, but it said lawyers, doctors, athletes, most of them are the most highest earners that we have, but a lot of them die broke. A lot of them have the most consumption. They buy a bunch of things, and you have to keep that lifestyle up so they don't get a chance to be wealthy because of habits and their lack of financial literacy. So yeah, bro, that's how I feel, man. I'm so over it. A newsflash in 2025, if you don't know, if you don't have all the freedom to move around here and all that, you are a slave. Okay? If you don't know your bloodline, if you don't know, if you're still calling yourself Black, African American, you're a slave. Okay? You don't know who your great, you're a slave. You don't know your lineage. They do. You're a slave. So newsflash, boop, boop, boop. There's a lot of slavery still going on today, beyond Harvard.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. That's a fact, man. So With that being said, what you got? What's anything else about that story? Uh,
Nah, man, it's just like, it's time to wake up and really smell the truth. Stop putting band-aids on stuff. These type of conversations, the way we talking, this is the way it needs to be, okay? Because the oppression done felt too good for too long. And we keep picking and choosing which oppression is the right one to get behind. And we're going to rally behind this oppression. But this one right good. This one good because I make $45 an hour. So we good with this oppression. But no, we ain't good with that. No, 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 no. No, we ain't rocking with none of that. That's why it ain't. Don't find yourself in groups of 100, 200, 3,000 people, because once they get to the one thing that they might lose, I'm over that. You telling me I might not make $25 million next year? Oh no, the NBA cool with me, NFL cool with me. I ain't about to miss out on that. My family got to eat. Well, how much they got to eat?
Yeah,
How much they got to
20.
eat? Man, if you and all of the most powerful guys that look just like you stood together, y'all might miss a couple checks, but y'all gonna get it back. But what y'all will do is stop people from being treated like this forever. See, that's the problem. Don't nobody be wanting to pass that baton. You're supposed to make it better for the people behind you. So like now, the college and the high school players are getting paid, but this is a gift and a curse. And if it's more of a curse, because we ain't been passing out more financial literacy. So now you about to give a young, depressed, anxiety having, poor eating, diet, nutrition having, lack of respect, lack of confidence, that's not going to be confidence. He's going to be masking. That's still not going to be confidence because he can go out and buy a chain now, because he can go out and buy a Lamborghini and he's in the 12th grade. He's masking all his confidence, because if he really had confidence and knew who he was and really believed all the stuff that his parents taught him and gave them the right resources and tools, he'll be stacking that bread. You'll see a bunch of 12th graders going out and buying land, you know what I mean? Setting up the infrastructure, buying laundromats, you know what I mean? Figuring out ways to, you know what I mean? Buy real estate buildings, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But no, they're going to want to do, going back to the P. Diddy thing. That's why I said, man, they hoodwinked us. We've been bamboozled. First thing you do is go buy material. First thing they go do is buy assets. Big difference. So, yeah, man, that's all really I got to say about that. I'm not gonna pick one slave story. That stuff I don't care, bro. There's people, I say it every week, damn near. Some of our people got killed for being able to read. Some of our people got killed for going in buildings once they were allowed to go in the building. I'm not gonna be a disservice. You ain't got to tell me Harvard had slaves to piss me off. I'm pissed off already. I'm pissed off because we're so much better than what we are. But when somebody do say that and somebody really feel that, and we ain't got to put up no damn black fist. I ain't black. I ain't got to do all that to tell you that I know. It's said in every book. Now I don't need your book to have my connection with the Most High every day I wake up. It didn't take a Bible to wake me up or Quran to wake me up. He woke me up because he chose to wake me up. That energy, the Creator chose to wake me up. I'm gonna stop playing these games. You know what I mean? So I don't need no more trigger warnings, no more propaganda, no more none of that, bro. I've been here 41 years. You've been here 39 years. Tons of people been here for at least 10 years, and you can see. You know what I mean? It only takes 21 days to form a habit. So you should see what America's habits are now. You should be able to see what your family's habits are now. You should be able to see what the school systems, like, you know what I'm saying? You should be able to see, like, that's not going to stop people from going to Chick-fil-A tomorrow because we told them that, they put that's petroleum oil. That's gas in your sandwich. Your French fries, the ingredients, let me ask you this. Anytime you ever fried chicken, when the last time you used 35 ingredients to fry a piece of chicken? Never. So why do your chicken sandwich got 35 ingredients? Case in point, you know what I mean? So I'm leaving the slavery and the poverty thinking people right where they at. We've been conquered. Until we come together, we will remain slaves. Until people willing to share the right information, then when you get the information, you're willing to believe it and do it. It don't even matter. It don't matter. You know what I mean? You have to have a nation behind you. So if you one person that make it out, if you two people that make it out, it's going to be lonely. You know what I'm saying? And you still going to have to come back in this world because your people are keeping the oppression going. Yeah, you say Target. Yeah, you say Harvard. Yeah, you say Nike. Yeah, you say these. But until we make them see where we're coming from, then you'll have that one person speaking of the voice, Martin Luther King, the Malcolm X's, and then they'll be able to knock them off. But if you had 30 million people saying that and we ain't going there, you're gonna force these people to come down to your level. How do you bring somebody on a pedestal down? Knock the damn funding and finance and the wealth that they're standing on down to your level. Bring them down to our level, and then they won't have no choice. But as long as you keep talking and Instagramming and putting it up on Facebook, but then in the background you go and spend your money every which way, then we don't have no money to do nothing. We just got a bunch of voice and a lot of pent up emotions, and we ready to burn something and destroy something. That's all. That's all. And that's not gonna win this thing for us.
Yes, sir.
So I'm ready to close out, man. If you ready to close out.
All right, man. This is the Leaders Only Digital Show and Podcast, live streaming every Sunday at 2 p.m. We appreciate you joining this week for our show. We hope that you enjoyed this show. We looking forward to you joining us next week, man. We ask for your input, interest, man, whatever, man. We asking that you bring it forth, man. Give us some things to go ahead and talk about. We can't do it alone. It's each one teach one, man. On every episode, we try to bring it together, man. So with our strong love to our team, man, we are brought to you by What a Change Mentoring Inc. and Tone Drone TV. I'm your one half host, Kendall.
And I'm Samaj.
And man, we ask that you share, like, subscribe, hit that bell, comment, email us at leadersonly22@gmail.com. Cause we would love to hear from you. Like I said, all our stuff is on the ticker. You can always reach out to us. Mental health is real heavy, man. So 988, don't hesitate, don't be late, man. YouTube, we on there every Sunday, like I said, at 2. Man, give them something, bro.
On July 17th, you know, we about to we'll talk about it more this week on our, but we've been doing the high school sports and mental health pop-ups. Right now we have the next one scheduled for July 17th, and that one will be focusing on injury and recovery as a high school athlete, as well as the violence that's going on in their community, with their generation, and how they cope as being athletes and still connected, you know, to the people who are either doing the violence or the violence is happening to. How do they maintain? How do they feel about it? You know, I want to hear real stuff, because like I said, man, you get tired of preaching and this stuff. I want these young men and these young women to start speaking, so these adults can really see, so they can really hear it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of adults think everything's sweet. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not happening directly to them, you know, or they still act like them. So you can't see the difference. But listen to these kids. A kid will tell you, even one that's caught up in the loop of the mess. They're in the loop of the mess, number one, because they don't have two people that they feel like really care and love for them. But they'll tell you, like, man, I don't got no respect for such and such, because look at what they'll say it. You know, they'll get mad when an adult say, man, you out here still BSing, you ain't taking care of your kids, man, you ain't working, man, you over here, you know, you cheating on, da-da-da-da-da. We ain't got to say it no more. But that young man, that young woman, they got eyes. They'll tell you. You know what I'm saying? You messed up, man. And I don't want to be like, I don't want to follow you. Go ask them. Ask them in an open forum setting without you there. Ask them to be honest. The truth coming. It's coming, and you can no longer run from it. You know what I mean? I will always tell people when we were coming up that, you know, no parent can't turn no kid against them. You know why? Because that kid ain't going to be a kid forever. So then they're going to be able to see the truth. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got, man. I just want people to eat clean, hydrate, stay hydrated, get some rest. I'm guilty of that. I need to get some rest myself. I've been running, you know what I'm saying? But it's definitely hot. And eat some watermelon. We have Watermelon Wednesday, where we fast from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eat it watermelon. You can do juice or just eat it. But we try our best just to consume watermelon every Wednesday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Do what your body feels. Remember to respect your body. Your body is a temple, and you're the one who got to live in it. So it's either a trash can or it's a temple. Do something about it.
Yes, sir, man. With that being said, this is the Leaders on the Show, and we are looking forward to seeing you next week. Peace.